Jason Wells with Retired at 32, and a topic I wanted to cover this week is playing big. And so I'm going to ask you, are you playing big enough? Now, what does this have to do with financial freedom, residual income, those kind of things? Well, entrepreneurs must play bigger, in my opinion. And then normally they're playing bigger than everyone else. That's why they have that kind of lifestyle. Takes more work, takes certain focus that I think most people aren't willing to put in. But the point is, most people are in the average category and they're playing small. And I believe we're all capable of being elite, not average. We're all capable of playing bigger. Now, this point doesn't apply only to money or your financial picture. It's pretty much everything in your life. And I'll ask you, is there a time where you shrunk in the moment? Of course. We've all experienced this. It's something we've done. You know, it's really a choice, rising to the occasion or shrinking. And I'd like to think that all of us have been on both sides. Well, what made me think of this is I was in yoga class yesterday, and one of the staff members said to the teacher before she walked into the class, if you could say one thing to everyone in the world, what would it be? And she repeated this to the class and asked us to shout out what we would say to the world. Just shout it out in class so she could hear what people were thinking in response to that question. And many people shouted different things, and I was kind of laying there. I wasn't, my philosophy is not going to say something for the sake of saying it. I really had nothing to say. And then suddenly I blurted out, play bigger. And I know this was a natural thing because it definitely came from within, because I didn't think about it when I said it, and I just blurted it out. And I feel that most people generally don't play as big as they're capable of playing. And I don't know what causes that. I've heard a lot of theories. Some people think that most people fear not achieving what they're capable of, as opposed to fear of actually going out and doing what they need to do. Some people call that a fear of success. I don't really get that, but that's me. I mean, maybe that's something that resonates with you. And I think about what separated me in my successes as opposed to others in achieving, say, financial freedom, staying in good physical shape, playing volleyball, whatever else I've set out to do. And I think the only difference between me and others is hard work, playing bigger, and taking action. That's really what it comes down to. And I know what some people are going to say, oh, genetics plays a role. Some people are smarter than others. Some people are more physically gifted than others, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. And I understand that. So, considering genetics playing a role, I'm not 6'10", and that doesn't stop me from going out and being as dominant as I can in volleyball. And I'm obviously not a pro volleyball player, but I can tell you the hard work I have put in has allowed me to compete at a high level with very good, very talented volleyball players. I would argue a lot of the people I played with over the years, if they had the height, the genetic talent, if you will, they'd be playing somewhere pro and playing in the Olympics, or playing at least on a very top Division I level volleyball. So I guess my point in saying that is it's really a choice on what you want to do, how you want to do it, and how about this? When you're somebody that does take action and life throws those challenges, how do you react to them? Because many people finally get the gumption, if you want, it's a word my grandparents used to use, gumption. People get the gumption to go out and finally do something, and then life throws them a curveball, and then they quit. So, what are you doing in those situations? Many of the successful people that I know, at least financially, they have amazing persistence, amazing follow through, and I'll say that some of them, and this may sound judgmental, and it really is, but let's face it, we've all thought this at some point. And I'm just being completely transparent and honest here. You have thought at some point, how did that person get to that point? Like, in other words, you're looking at their talent, you're looking at them, you're looking at maybe yourself and how talented you are in comparison to them, and you're thinking, well, how did they get to that point? And, those people are the ones you should give respect to. Because if you found yourself being judgmental and looking at somebody and saying, well, I'm more talented than them, how did they get to that point? You know what? They probably worked really hard. Maybe you are more talented than them. But what does that say about you? That person probably worked really hard. They probably put a lot of persistence. They kept at it. They probably had thick skin when times got tough. So just think about these things, playing big. And, this applies to me too. There are some things that I could play much bigger at. And I know that. And I'm doing that. I'm taking steps to go to the next level. It's all relative. We all have our next goal that we want to achieve, or maybe that goal that kind of seems kind of out of reach, like you don't think you're capable of getting it. We all have them. Everyone's the same. And so I'll have you ponder this. Are you playing big enough? And what is it that you need to do to start playing bigger? Feel free to share your thoughts. Have a good week.